And this, my friends, and I am not lying to you, total transparency, this is for me today. I am a student today. I am not a facilitator today. I will be asking questions today. And if you don't level up the group of humans around you, I want you to consider that as part of your business strategy because that's how I know Emmanuel. And I feel
Hi
like
guys.
my life is better for it. I really, really do. We've had
We
some
went to battle
projects.
together.
We've been on the same team, by the way,
Yeah.
battling, not against each other. Completely different project, but you really get to see how someone's built. And I have such mad respect for you and your ability to break down some of the things that hold us all up, thinking they're complicated. No one breaks it down like you do. I'm going to drop the workbook for today into
Yeah, please do.
the chat because Emmanuel sent this to me and I want to make sure everyone has it. If you're in the Rebel Agent online community, I want to let you know that it's there as well. So if you lose the link because you don't know how to bookmark like a boss, it's there too, and it'll be under the recording for today. So I am going to just turn it over and I'm buckled up and ready for the ride. You guys are in for such a treat today, and we have so many people that watch this on replay. And I'm excited to watch what you guys take from today and implement. So, Emmanuel, I am turning it over to you, my friend.
I love it. I love it. And while we're doing that, let me actually just make sure that I can see all you guys. So I got gallery view. I got gallery view on. Perfect. All right. I hope everyone's off to a great start to the day. It's noon your time already. No, it's not noon yet. No, it is noon your time already, right, Stacey? Right, guys? Yeah, it's noon. Okay. Well,
One
good afternoon.
o'clock my time. So it's
Oh,
post
oh.
lunch. I even had lunch.
Oh my goodness. And for me, it's still the start of the day. All right. So my plan and playbook today, guys, is it's a packed house. I want to make sure that I give you guys a ton of value. By the way, make sure you guys get access to the workbook because pretty much everything I'm going to be giving you, the play-by-play is in the workbook. But I want to give you a couple big ideas first so you understand the direction I'm trying to take you. My plan and playbook today is that, let me see if I can pull this up. Yep, there we go. Boom. All right. If my head gets covered by my iPad, I'm sorry, I'll try my best to pay attention to the camera and where I'm standing. But my goal today is I want to give you the cheat code. I want to help you guys crack the code to creating content on social media. I want you guys to get beyond 200 views on a regular basis, which honestly is not very difficult to do. And I'm about to show you guys how to do it. So I'm excited to be breaking this down with you guys today. So without further ado, well, actually, let me start off with this. I'm kind of curious in the chat. Can you put real quick, like how many times are you posting on social media every single week? Is it once? Is it twice? Is it maybe 3 times? Are you posting twice a day? Can you jot it down in the chat? Let me know. I'm curious what the amount of engagement is or content creation is uh, going on inside of this little group here. 1 time per day. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate you for sharing. 2 to 3. I love it. Deanne. Oddly enough, I have a client who has the exact same name as you, who is also in real estate. So me and you share a bond instantly. Let's see, 2 times a week. All right. Stacey, 1 to 2 times a day. I love it. You know the playbook, Stacey. Patricia, is that two? I see two. Is that 2 times a week or 2 times a day?
Sorry, a day.
Oh, perfect. I love it. I love it. By the way, this is completely interactive. I'm not one of those guys that's gonna hop on a Zoom call and just have be a dictator talking head. If you have any questions, put it in the chat or just unmute yourself and just jump in. It's okay. I want to make sure I answer questions for all you guys. I love it. 1 day, perfect. Okay. So my playbook here is I want to give you an easier way of coming up with essentially content, with ways to create content so that you can show up a little bit more frequently. Ideally, you want to be posting as much as possible because at the end of the day, not only are you gamifying the algorithm, but you also want to make sure that people are seeing your stuff and they're going to forever remember you. So without further ado, let's kind of get into the good stuff today. Let me first talk about kind of the big problems when it comes to content creation, or maybe some of the growing pains that you're currently having now. First big problem, number one, is that maybe you're posting content, but at the end of the day, no one actually cares. Like you're putting in the time, you're putting in the effort, you're recording content, you're posting, you're not getting any likes, you're not getting any comments. Maybe, just maybe you're getting 200 views a day. Hey, if this is you, can you put your hand up in the camera? I'd love to know, like, yeah, I kind of feel this, like I'm posting and it's just not getting anywhere. Yep, appreciate it. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So here's the thing. When this happens, and I know I can guarantee this of all of you, you start doubting yourself. The imposter syndrome starts creeping in. Then you maybe tell yourself, you know what? I'm wasting so many resources doing this. I'm just not cut out for this. Meanwhile, you see other people who are probably posting way crappier content than you guys are posting, and you see them blowing up, and you're like, what the heck are they doing? Well, it's because they have a system, and I want to explain to you the system today. Another big problem I've seen is that, and this was a very, very important one, you are trying to be someone else, and I'll tell you right now, it is 100% exhausting. Like, for example, you see another agent doing really, really well online. So you start copying them because you think that's what works. You start mimicking their style. Maybe you start mimicking some of the areas that they're taking videos, some of their mannerisms, some of their lingo. When in reality, all that's happening is you're just forcing yourself to be someone else. So you start second guessing not only them, but yourself, because at the end of the day, you feel like, hey, they're doing it and I'm copying them. How come it's not working? Well, there, my friends, lies the key problem to this. You are being disingenuinely you. And because of that, people that are watching you can see the disingenuineness coming out. And so they see it's an act. They know that it's not the real you. And you, and in addition to that, you cannot sustain the unreal you. You cannot sustain you trying to be someone else. And at the end of the day, you just, your foundation's built on shaky ground. Your content starts suffering. You feel burnout. You give up. Not what I want for you today. I want you to be authentically you. That's really kind of the sweet spot in getting all this stuff to work. And the last big problem that I've seen is you're not getting enough reach because your approach is all wrong. This is more of a tactical thing. You hear people talking about hooks, and you maybe try a couple different hooks, but you see that you're not getting the retention. I'm guaranteeing all of you guys are creating really great content, but people aren't sticking around to watch it because the algorithm isn't going to award someone the attention that your content deserves if you can't even nail down the first 3 seconds of your video. So because of that, no retention equals no views. No views equals no engagement. No engagement means no growth. No growth means you stay invisible. And hey, guess what? You get no sales, no leads, no nothing. And I don't want you to be suffering like this anymore. My goal is I want to help you kind of uncover what's going on behind the hood, why other people are getting this right and you're still kind of struggling with this, so that we can hopefully make this work for you better. So I want to pause real quick. Hey, in the chat, any of these symptoms resonating with you? Can you type it in real quick? Like, yeah, I feel the imposter syndrome. Yeah, maybe I've tried copying someone else's stuff and tried being someone else. I'd love to know what the overall mood is around here. Please, please engage. I always hate being just a talking head on a Zoom call. How you feeling? What are some of the problems that you're feeling? Are you feeling like, oh man, I'm creating videos and no one's watching? Yeah, maybe we're failing to nail the hook. Maybe we're failing at creating the content because we don't have a system. Every single day, it's like on the fly, I have to come up with something to say, and that's hard. That's very difficult to do. Easy to burn out. Yep, definitely. Overthinking. I love it. I love it. All right. So, I love it. Thank you for sharing, Gene. Yeah, exactly. I'll tell you right now, I'm on point on this just because I've gone through this. This hits right here. All right. So let's go through a couple models and a couple big ideas before I give you the play-by-play on how to actually switch things up for you. So number one is, let's talk about the algorithm, the actual rhythm on how stuff actually becomes viral. Because the more that you understand how this works, the easier it is for you to understand why your stuff isn't getting the reach that you want, why you're not getting 1.5 million views, and why you're stuck at 100 views, if you're even stuck at 100 views. All right. So first off, let's say that we have a piece of content. This is you and your happy little talking head reel. Essentially, the way that any of these algorithms work is that they really base your reach, your viral reach, off of the amount of retention that a video actually gets. So there's kind of like these circles of virality. The first circle is Instagram. Its algorithm is going to show your content to your essentially your immediate sphere of people and a couple followers, a couple strangers. And what Instagram is essentially looking for is a graph of retention that looks like this, where people watch and they stay watching before they dip out. But many cases, oftentimes, what's happening is we create a piece of content and the graph looks more like this. And when the graph looks more like that, it's a clear indication that there's no adoption. People aren't watching it. They're not entertained by your content. And so you're not going to be able to get the virality of what you're looking for. What Instagram is really looking for is a graph that looks more like this, where it's a steady line, slowly decreasing, but it just shows that people are watching your stuff. And if they show this sample size, maybe for the next couple of hours or so, and they see that that's the retention, then what Instagram will magically do is that they'll show it to another set of people, not necessarily your followers, but to a bigger group of people. And Instagram is simply going to ask the exact same question. How many people in this larger segment of people are watching your stuff? Are we maintaining a graph that looks like this? If we are, then hey, guess what? It's going to show your content to an even larger group of people. And this is how we get the viral term, how we get the 100K to the 1 million views.
I have a question.
Sure. What's up?
So about half the people on this call just got off a call for film
Mhm.
school where we're
Okay.
learning to do the Instagram a little bit better.
All right. Awesome.
Until you just said this, I never went and looked at where I could find the stat for that watch time. I never
Mhm.
did. You're 1,000,000% right. When that view falls off, it's like unbelievable. I'm just looking at it and it's like, okay, and it says what the average watch time is and all that good stuff.
Mhm.
So if you were to take what you just said, what is a average rule of thumb we should be looking for? Is it just getting past that 3 seconds, or the longer the better? I mean, what should we have in our mind when we're going back and looking at our own stuff, and what was did a little bit better than other things? Like, how could we look at
Yeah.
that insight on Instagram itself and learn more from it?
Yeah, so what you're looking really is the watch time, just average watch time. Like, there's other really cool graphs and other apps out there that can give you a little bit more visual representation of what's going on, but just pay attention to watch time. If you see something that's maybe 3 seconds or less, that means it's usually a graph that looks like this, that just tanks. And that
Right.
means that the beginning part of your video is what we need to work on. You didn't nail the hook. The hook is the most important piece, and I'm going to talk about the hook a little bit more in a couple minutes, but if you didn't nail the hook, you didn't create something compelling enough, you didn't agitate enough for people to want to pay attention, to want to watch, and everything else that you've said after that is pretty much useless. So if you see a graph or if you see something that says, well, average watch time 3 seconds, yeah, you need to work on your intro. Now, if you see something that looks maybe more, I don't know, more like this, then that means that the content is great, but your video is too long. Essentially, you want to try to eliminate that slope. You want something more like this. And if you pay attention, and I don't know if you guys have ever done this before, but have you guys ever done like an Instagram reel with you just maybe working in the background and then there's some text on the screen? Usually you'll see a graph that looks more like the one I'm showing on my screen here, where it's like green and then a dip. And that's because usually the shorter the video is, the less likely that someone's going to swipe out before the end of the video.
So
So
that's why, like, everybody talking about these 7-second reels, this is where all this is stemming from. Because I think we're all like, why in the hell does that play better than something that took us like 3 hours and we were up all night thinking about exactly how to make it and all of that. And then we
yep.
can do something silly like this and it works so well.
Exactly, exactly. It's because the Instagram is literally just looking at watch time and they're saying, hey, these people are watching your whole video, even if it's 7 seconds and we're gamifying the system. But it's giving you the virality that you're looking for.
So pissed. I mean, I'm
Okay.
glad I know it now, but is that an aha for anyone else on the call?
Maybe,
Because I
maybe.
was like,
Yeah.
why? Like, I always want to know the why.
Yeah.
That's just how my brain works. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. I thought that it wanted us on the platform creating like really meaningful stuff and whatever. And that's not at all how to bait the algorithm. It's all about that view time in comparison to the length of the video. Am I hearing you right?
Yeah, you're 100% accurate. But I will say this, like if we can make this as binary as possible, you just want people to watch your video straight through. And the
Right.
shorter the video, it's easier for them to watch it straight through. The longer the video and the longer that they watch straight through, the algorithm is obviously going to award that because the algorithm is going to say, yeah, this is actually pretty entertaining. So I'll promote this a little longer because a 7-second clip and they watch straight through versus a 90-second clip that they watch straight through, the algorithm is going to give more weight to the 90-second clip. All right. Making sense? You guys all good? You guys have any questions? You guys want to interject? Yes? Perfect. Keep going. Do I have your permission to keep
No,
going?
pause. Because I'm like, wait, what? I'm confused. Okay, so I'm like 7 second, 90 second. Like, what are you talking about?
When we're talking
Okay.
What are
about
you talking about?
7 second reel,
Yeah.
Yeah, second versus the 90 second. It's kind of like, I guess you don't really know where to be at in there because it's like conflicting information, is it not?
No, so the main metric, if we're looking at a seesaw, the main metric that's going to define whether a clip is going to get more virality or not is what I just alluded to. If you have a graph like that looks like this, and that graph of watch time is like this, where it's they watch and there's a dip. But I will tell you now that if we compare a 7 second versus a 90 second on a seesaw, Instagram will put more weight on the 90 second with that dip versus the 7 second, just because there's Instagram is saying, hey, these people are watching longer and they're able to maintain the retention more. So I'm going to award these people more views. Is that making sense, Gene? No? Okay, what part is not clear?
All of it. I'm just like, I'm just not getting it. Okay, because I guess I'm kind of confused on. So is it better to do the 90 second or is it the 7 second? I guess that's what I'm trying to find
No, so
out. Is okay, because I'm kind of
I,
confused right there.
I think maybe we're asking the wrong question. It's not
Okay.
whether I should do 90 second or 7 second. The question that we need to be asking is, how can I get people to watch my stuff longer?
Okay, so that's the correct. So okay, is that where you're getting ready to go to now?
Yeah, essentially, how do we get people to watch a little longer?
Okay. Okay,
That's the
I'll
goal.
wait.
Okay.
Okay.
But feel free to jump in, Gene, please, by all means. If this is still confusing you, I want to make sure I answer some like whatever questions you have. Okay, so let's talk about the viral pillars, what it takes to actually go viral, right? There's really kind of three main pillars, three main components, but I want to start off by really just articulating, what the big problems are about not being able to go viral. So number one, it's this feeling of being invisible. Number two, it's the feeling of being like an imposter. And then number three, it's a lack of retention, or in this case, weak hooks. So the way that we deal with these is that number one, we optimize for the first three, and I'm going to put seconds in parentheses. That will help us fix the weak hooks. To be invisible, or to the prescription to not be invisible, is that we need to study what works. And then to deal with the imposter syndrome, you have to not try to be someone else. You have to authentically be you. And when you do that, some magical stuff happens. Number one, between studying what works and being you, you start building an audience. And between the optimizing the first 3 seconds and being you, guess what happens? You're able to work the algorithm. I misspelled that, but it's okay. You get what I'm saying. And between studying what works and optimizing for the first 3 seconds, guess what happens? You get engagement. That's the secret sauce. Optimize the first 3 seconds, be you, and you just study what works. And as I continue to kind of wrap up the workshop today, that's really the bottom line of how we're going to make this work for you. All right. Having said that, I want to make sure that I have a little time at the very end to do a workshop for one of you on how to essentially create some content very quickly. So let me just jump straight into a couple big ideas before we get into the actual workshop piece of this. So let's start off with big idea number one. Magicians. The magician's trick. If you really pay attention to magicians, they don't create brand new tricks out of thin air. What they actually do is they just look at other people's stuff and then they refine it. They make it their own. So my prescription to you, my big takeaway for you is that virality isn't about luck. It's about recognizing patterns on what other people are doing and trying to recreate those patterns. So stop trying to create things from scratch. Instead, study, adapt, and then kind of remix it so it sounds more like you. The next big idea, movie trailers. If you really pay attention to a movie trailer, the very beginning of a trailer is really designed to hook you. There's action, there's drama, they're trying to antagonize you, there's something shocking, just so that you actually stick around and watch through the whole movie trailer. So this is my point here. The first 3 seconds of your videos are the most important. They need to grab attention immediately. And you do that with by two ways. Number one is the verbal hook, which is something that I'm very sure that you're familiar with, where you're just talking about something that hopefully people will get enticed by. But the second one is the visual hook. This one you might not be too familiar with. There's a really great strategy, phrase, framework. It's called the Pope in the Pool. Now, the way the Pope in the Pool works, essentially, it was from a movie from way back when, but there was a guy doing a talking head, but in the background, there was a Pope inside of a pool swimming and doing laps. People watch that because not of the person talking, doing the talking head and talking in the frame, but because there was someone in the background doing something. And that was enough to capture attention and retain attention. So we need to focus on the visual hook as well. Next piece, we got to get them to binge. Like, this is how we really gamify the algorithm. It's one thing to create one really great piece of content, but it's another thing to create something that has some pace, some tension, a reason to watch again, to watch more. One of the really popular things that I'm not sure if you've seen, but it's really working right now, are people that do these series. This is series 1 of the top 5 things that I enjoy about these brand new house build. Top 3 things that I love about living in Ohio. Episode 2, episode 3, episode 4. When we make things episodic, it actually becomes a lot easier to retain attention because people want to start binging our stuff. And at the end of the day, when we get them to binge, they eventually buy. That's kind of the rule of thumb. Feel free to write that down. If they binge, they buy. Number 3, the karaoke bar rule, which essentially means that if you've ever been to a karaoke bar, it's usually not the best singer that gets the most applause or the most attention. It's usually the person with the best personality, that has confidence, that's just authentically them. Usually the person that gets the most attention at a karaoke bar isn't the best singer, but the person that just is being real. People want to follow you because you are being authentically you, not because you're trying to portray the perfect version of you. So stop trying to be perfect. Stop trying to make sure your background looks fantastic and there's no mess and everything is pristine. Like, no, it's okay to whip out your phone and just be you, be raw, be uncut. The algorithm actually prefers that nowadays versus like these fancy over edited videos. And then lastly, I didn't have the slide, but one last big idea. We want to give them what to do next. We want to give them the GPS to essentially, or how to, or what the call to action is to do after they watch the video. So the way I like to think of it is, if you ever get into a car and you want to go to a destination, typically you're punching in the GPS and the GPS is going to tell you turn left, turn right. At the end of every single one of your videos, you need to have a call to action. And if we're talking about gamifying the algorithm, really the key parameters to making sure that you're going to get more viral or get exposed to a bigger audience, people follow you from the videos, people share the videos, and people bookmark the videos. So those are the top 3 things that you need to be doing if you want more views. And
Okay,
you
so
want more. Yeah,
go through those again, please, so we can write those down, because I do that, right? So if it's a recipe and I want to save it, right? Does anyone else do that? Like, I do that, especially on the weekends. I'm like, that looks good. Like, so you do that. So I understand the saving it, bookmarking it kind of thing. Sharing it, like how do we, well, you're going to show us that, but like, I guess as a real estate agent, I'm not really sure how to encourage people to share that content. Does that make sense?
Well, absolutely. So it's really big. It's topical based off of what you're presenting. Like if you're doing something impromptu or you're just doing a rant, maybe you can just say, hey, if you want more, or if you like my rant and you want more, hit that follow button. That way we're giving them a direct call to action. But at the end of the day, and just for context, and I highly recommend that you guys follow this person. His name is Adam Missouri. He is the founder and kind of head of Instagram. And he goes live every single Friday. And every single, maybe like 2-3 days, he's always posting new ways to gamify the algorithm to make it easier for creators to get more viral. And he just straight up says, if you want more virality, if you want to grow more, the 3 things you optimize for is how to get more people to bookmark your stuff. So if it's like making a recipe, how do we get them to bookmark the recipe? Or maybe you're doing a DIY project, how do we get them to do a DIY project? The second one is how do we get them to share it more? Maybe you said something funny or witty. How can we get them to share it to other people so that they'll find it entertaining? And then lastly, how can you get them to follow you more? So those are the kind of the three main metrics that will always be tracked and that Instagram is always looking for when it comes to, hey, I want to expose this person to more people.
Okay, so that makes sense. So let's do a real life example just super fast. So let's
Okay.
say I put up some kind of guide or checklist,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, because we all do those things, right?
Yeah.
Some kind
Mhm.
of guide or checklist. So what you're saying is we would tell them to bookmark it for later or share with a friend or something like that. I want to make this super practical because there's a lot of us that are really with training wheels still on when it comes to Instagram on this call. So I
You're
want to
all
make
good.
it super practical. You know, when we're sharing these links and we're doing these things, what we want to do is really encourage people to share these questions to ask your lender. Bookmark
Mhm.
this or share, these tips with a friend that you've heard is thinking of buying a home. Is that the kind of stuff you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly. So let's say like we make a list. So a recent one I did was, I made a declutter list for spring. So in my declutter list for spring, here are the 5 things that you need to be decluttering for the springtime, or because spring is around the corner. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Declutter any stuff around any stuff around the floor, do the garage, do the bathroom, do the pantry. Uh, I would say this is the list. And hey, if you enjoyed this list, bookmark, save this so that you can use this list for later. So to your point, kind of spot on, Stacey. Like save this list so you can use it for later, or uh, share this list with your husband so that you can get him to do the work.
These are the little things I think that we're missing in a lot of the trainings we're getting that are surface level. I just have to be honest. These little nuances that we're missing. And so when we see tag someone you want to go to this place with, I see those all the time because I do a bunch of travel stuff. I love to travel. If I could do that all the time, that's what I would do, right? So I see that, like, tag someone you want to like sit beside this pool with or do this or that. Is that where that's going?
Essentially, but the tagging it doesn't weigh as heavy as bookmark, share, follow. Those are the top three. Focus on those three until we
I
get
love
a
this.
new notification from the Instagram god saying like, no, we don't pay attention to anything else anymore. Like, I'll tell you right now, there should be 0% of your time when you're marketing focused on hashtags. Hashtags are irrelevant. Please stop wasting your time on hashtags.
What the fork?
Yeah.
Stop, 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 stop,
Yes.
stop,
Yes.
stop. Okay, we're real estate agents. We're always about 5 years behind the curve. So
Yeah.
we're just gonna call it out. Okay, that's what we are. And then there's those of us who are like, and we're just gonna go do the crazy thing. And so this is why we're here. And all we're hearing is trending hashtags, trending hashtags. Make sure you have the trending hashtags. Well, how many do you need? Well, if it's on Facebook, this many. But don't do that on your personal page. Only do that on your business page. And if it's on Instagram, you need at least 10. So you're saying
Yeah.
that's all bullshit.
Yeah. It's all bullshit. Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Shut up,
The
Megan.
algorithm.
You were gatekeeping. You didn't say shit. We're on calls with you every week. You didn't say beans.
I can't stress it enough. There's still a reason for algorithm. I mean, for the hashtags, like, hey, someone might click on it. Typically, the rule of thumb for hashtags is you use it for SEO. But nowadays, the algorithm is so smart that it's just looking at the caption and it's optimized. It's going to show you results based off the caption. Or the algorithm is so smart that it's going to transcribe everything that's you said in a video, and it's just going to optimize for what's being said in the video. So the hashtags aren't really a thing anymore. Sorry, I hate to burst everyone's bubble.
Just this is what I'm saying about most of this training is I just feel like depending on like how hip the person is you're listening to and where they got their information and how long ago it was, whether or not it's relevant, right? So I think all of us are spending too much time, except for Megan, because she's a jerk and didn't tell the rest of us. She's just laughing at us while she scrolls our shit on Instagram, but we didn't know.
Yeah.
So now we know. So take
Exactly.
that.
Chris, I was gonna say, Chris, thank you for sharing that handle. I recommend all of you guys go follow out of Missouri.
Thank you.
He's the Instagram god, and he'll there's scroll through his reels. I think it's a recent one, maybe like 6 or 7 posts ago, where he pretty much says hashtags are useless. So don't listen to me, listen to the guy that's actually controlling the
I
algorithm.
love this. I love this because this cuts through so much noise for us. It really does. Well, not for Megan, but I'm going to find her later.
All right. Okay. Before I move on to the actual implementation of this, can I get some takeaways? Like, any of you guys got any aha moments from a couple big ideas or anything I shared? Please let me know. Stroke my ego because I feel like I'm just talking into the abyss. And Stacey, I love you, Stacey.
I
Yes,
can't help
the
it.
biggest
I
eye opener I think was the no hashtag thing. I was like, what? Okay.
I know.
Had no clue
Yeah.
about that. I'm like, are you serious? It seems like everyone is like, yeah, don't forget to put this in there. Don't forget your keywords. Don't forget to do this. So you're trying to think of this crap, and now you're saying it's irrelevant. That is like an eye opener for me.
Yeah. I'm happy to save you guys a couple minutes of thinking through hashtags when you don't need to anymore. So
It's
you're all good.
friction, right? It's
Yeah.
friction. It just keeps us from doing more of the things because you don't want to screw it up. So
Mhm.
you're adhering to these rules that you've heard, you know. So this is fantastic. And I think I'm speaking for everyone, although not Megan. Uh, we're all in the same boat here. So thank you.
I feel like everyone, Megan, I'm sorry. I feel like Stacey's picking on
I am
you.
picking on her. She's in big trouble. She did not tell us that we didn't have to be worrying about hashtags anymore.
Yeah, I think
Um,
the other big eye opener for me was the bookmark, the share, and then the follow.
mhm.
Yeah, that I think
Exactly.
that's key too. So
Love it. I
yeah,
love it.
okay.
Thank you, Gene. Anybody else have a big, let me get one more takeaway from somebody else. Is there another big aha moment that maybe that resonated with you? Chris, I see you unmute. What's up, buddy?
Yeah,
Oh,
well, I had a question more or less. What's the like, yeah, the like, comment, share stuff. Like, what
mhm.
about you going into other people's accounts? Is that gonna help you out with like going and doing that stuff to them for their accounts? Is that gonna make you more visible, or is it just
It will 100% give you more traffic. So for context, I think what you're referring to is a thing called the $1.80 strategy. Have you heard of
but yeah,
that?
I've heard that before. I've heard it called a million things, but yeah.
Yeah. Leave your 2 cents to 90 people and it equals $1.80. You end up getting the traction. Um, I'll tell you, it is a way to get to the result, but there's a bunch of different ways. You can buy followers, you can have someone cold DMing people. What I'm trying to give you is probably the most white hat evergreen way. Because at the end of the day, when we're trying to cheat the system, like eventually you will get tagged. I'll tell you right now, I tried $1.80 for 6 months. All I kept on doing was getting put in Instagram jail. So we played around with doing 90 comments a day, then we moved it down to 60, then we moved it down to 30. And at the end of the day, when we looked at the numbers, focusing our effort, or at least for me, focusing my effort and my resources toward just figuring out how to create better stuff inevitably was the straw that broke the camel's back, as opposed to if I comment to 10 people, well, hopefully they'll follow me. Like, no, just create good stuff, build good stuff, people will pay attention. Is that, I know it's probably not what you want to hear, Chris, but
No,
does
that's
that,
that's very helpful. Yeah, I love that.
all right. Having said that, let's talk about how to build stuff. All right. Because the reality is it's not actually very difficult. So I want to go through the actual step by step of how to do this. And then I actually want to do this tactically for somebody. So let me give you the playbook. 4 very easy steps. And I want to preface this by saying, I'm now giving you permission to steal. Steal like your heart depends on it. All right. Because this is the only way we're going to make this work for you. I don't want you to think about how to be creative anymore. I don't want you to think about, maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do that. No, you steal. This is going to be the #1 rule moving forward. All right. So let's move on to step 1. First thing we're going to do is we're going to hop into our Instagram and we are going to look for a keyword in the search bar for something that we want to be kind of featured in. So in this particular case, my example here is I'm going to type in solopreneurs or solopreneurship. That's my avatar. That's who I like working with. That's who I like helping. It's going to give me some results. And then from there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click to the Reels tab. And I should also add that you can only do this on your phone. You must do this on your phone. You cannot do this using the Instagram web browser. Once you've done that, the next step is you are going to look for videos from people that have gone viral. Because I'll tell you right now, if someone has gone viral once, likely they've figured out how to go viral many times over. So there's a couple people here. There's this Instagram, whoop, I should say, there's this one here, but in the example case, I'm looking at this guy here. So I'm going to click to this guy, Vusi's account. As I can see, 2.4 million followers. Yeah, this guy kind of cracked the code. He figured it out. So once I've identified someone that I can essentially copy, because as I mentioned before, the goal here is to copy. We are not reinventing the wheel. The wheel's already been invented. We are going to copy what works. I am going to take this person's handle. Vusi, I'm not going to try to pronounce that. We're going to copy Vusi's handle, and then we're going to go to step 2. Step 2 is we're going to open up a application called Viral Finder, this first one here. And we're going to put in Vusi's name. And I'll tell you right now, everything I'm giving you is completely free. You do not have to pay for any of this. All right. This is all bootstrapped. You could pay for the more upgraded versions if you like, but hey, you can get by with just doing all of this for free. So I plugged him in. And once I've plugged him in, and this cool little application, what it's going to do is it's going to do an audit of the person's account. And it's going to find the videos that are essentially are the most viral, which means that got the most views, that got the most likes, that got the most comments. So I'm going to sort this by views. And I can see that there are a bunch of really great clips here of his most viral content. I'm going to select one of those videos. And then I'm going into this next application called Snap Insta. And I listed it up here. And what this application does is it's going to download that particular video. And once I have that video downloaded, we're going to move to step 3. And in step 3, we're going to open up another free application called Descript. And what Descript is going to do is we're going to upload that video, and it's going to give us the entire transcript of what this person said, why this person went viral. And my task to you is to copy the first line, because the first line is essentially his hook. Hey, heck, you can even copy maybe the first 2 or 3 lines. It's really up to you. Just make it make sense. But if we're trying to optimize for the first 3 seconds, there's no point of us trying to figure out how to do it. This person's already done it. We just have to copy what he said. That's the secret sauce. And once we copy what the person said, the next step is look at the videos itself. Copy what the person is doing in those first 3 seconds, because I guarantee what they're doing is enough to be the Pope in the pool, to be the reason why people are going to watch, stop, and stare, because they've created the visual hook and they've created the verbal hook to make people actually want to listen. And once we've done that, then it's really just you adding your own flair, add your own 2 cents, add your own input, add your own flavor, add your own opinion about what that particular topic is. And brownie points for the people that want to kind of get this a little bit more streamlined and don't like talking to or making stuff off on the fly, there's a really great application called Big Voo. And in Big Voo, what you can actually do is you can just create a script, copy it and paste it, and then hey, guess what? You have a teleprompter that you can record with the words on your screen. So it doesn't look like you're reading off a script or off a screen or looking back and forth. You can just read off your phone. It'll give you the teleprompter, and then voila, you're done. This is it. This is all you have to do. Just to quickly recap, look for a keyword, find a person that went viral. Look at their profile, make sure that they actually went viral, take that handle, go into Viral Finder, audit their stuff, find a video that you want to replicate, download it, put it into Descript, get the actual transcript, copy what they say, record it yourself. Voila. This is probably the fastest and easiest way to come up with 100 pieces of content where you don't actually have to think. You can just literally copy. All right. There's one more piece that I want to talk about to land the plane before we workshop together, but do you have any questions about what I just mentioned? I'm looking at a bunch of blank faces. Did I go too fast? I'm sorry if I did.
I'm trying to think of what like the keywords would be that would be relevant for us.
Mm-hmm. Oh, play around. At this point, I've essentially unearthed an encyclopedia of different ideas for you. So you can go with Ohio real estate agent, maybe decluttering spring. Like there's a bunch of options. You just figure out what's working and what you want to talk about, and then you just copy.
Okay, so that's a good question. Can we go back just a second to what you said? So let's go back to your decluttering guide, because that was the example you gave. So if it's a decluttering guide that I'm giving away, then do I use decluttering guide? I mean, I still don't use Cleveland real estate agent, right? Like it depends on what my content is, the keywords that I'm gonna, because I want to go hang out and appeal to the people who are looking for a decluttering guide. And oh yeah, by the way, they might start following me. Is that the
That's precisely it. Or you can make the hyper local. So another guy that, a quick example, there's a guy I work with, his name's Solo. He's an agent out of Venice Beach. He's a surfer. Like he's a surfer through and through. So what we did for him was he just looked at Venice Beach landmarks and then found one that was working really, really well for him or for someone else, and he literally just copied the exact same thing, verbatim, word for word, and then he went viral from there, a couple thousand views. So just copy. It's okay. They figured it out already. I'm sorry. I wish it was more complicated than that.
I don't like it to be complicated, and that's what kept me from doing more. Is anyone else on the call feeling that same thing? Like, because it felt complicated, I didn't want to do more of it because, again, like you said in the beginning, I wasn't sure if I was using my resources wisely if all I'm going to get is 48 views. I'm like, well, that was a complete waste of an hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. No, don't even waste an hour. Find this whole process you could probably knock out in maybe 30 minutes, and then it'll probably take you 2 or 3 minutes to record each video. Really, really easy.
Wait, I have a question about step one.
Okay,
Um,
absolutely.
so if you're on Instagram, you just put in your topic like decluttering, and
Mhm,
then you find like a viral reel, and then
mhm.
you go and then you click on that viral reel, and then you go to the person's like who created it. Is that?
Yep, exactly, exactly. I want to
And
workshop this with you together so you can see exactly how I do it, like my process.
Oh, Nina volunteered, didn't you? Didn't you,
You
Nina?
did?
yeah, sure.
Okay, all right. I love it. All right, Nina, you're the volunteer.
Okay.
Let's do this. Let me pull up some stuff and then let's go through this together. So Nina, first question for you. Give me a word that you want to search on Instagram that
Um,
that we want to unpack and pick apart for this particular strategy.
okay, luxury homes.
Luxury homes. Okay, actually, hold on.
Is that too
Let
many
me pull
words?
up. No, no, that's perfect. That's
Okay.
perfect. Let me
So
just pull
this
up
is
the
a
right.
great example. So is it better if she says luxury homes, Boulder, Colorado, or no, just luxury homes?
It's up to you. You could do either or. I mean, at this point, it's just an experiment to see what will get you the most views. So
Yeah,
let's go with, well, do you want to do luxury homes Colorado or do you want to do luxury homes? What do you think?
um, yeah, maybe Colorado. Yeah, let's do that.
Luxury homes Colorado. Okay. So step one, I put in a keyword. That is my luxury homes Colorado. Step two, I'm going to go swipe over to Reels because these people have already figured this out. They've already cracked the code.
So that's what you do. You go to Reels there because
Exactly.
I was just doing for you. Okay.
Yeah, you go to Reels. All right. So let's pick one of these here. So the challenge with real estate is usually really nice homes by default, they're going to go viral. I don't want to go through the route of just a really nice home. I want to pick something that we can actually utilize because these all look like just take a bunch of drone shots of your listings. You'll be good. Let's see if we can find something.
Whoops.
Yeah, these are all just luxury homes. I'm looking for like a talking head that maybe we can reference.
Yeah, everything's
That's an
looking.
interesting exercise too, right? Like maybe we're looking at the wrong things sometimes.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. This potentially like, hey, you want to go viral? Just take some drone shots of your home and or of your listing, and then just put some nice music behind it. Um,
Oh, I see.
go with
Well,
this one, 391 K views. All right, let's unpack. Well, let's not unpack this one. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's look at this person's profile. We have one here for 6 million views.
I'm looking at that same one.
Fox, Fox, oh,
Tara.
yeah, Fox Terra Design. So I'm gonna head over to Viral Finder and let's do a search for this person real quick. This is gonna take a little while, so you can ask me questions while we have it loading. Fox Terra Design. Hit search. So this is it's gonna take a few, well, probably like a minute to load. But ideally, what we're gonna do is once we see it load, we're gonna be able to find some really great ideas from this person. While we're doing that, let's look for another one. Is there another word, maybe not so much luxury homes Colorado, maybe something a little bit more specific that
maybe, or maybe, then I was thinking maybe home tours. Would that be better? Because then you probably get a person in there.
home tours? Actually, you know what? Let me do this.
Luxury home tour? I don't know.
I'm gonna pull up let me pull up Solo's content calendar because there's some really good examples in there. Actually, that might have been a better playbook to this. Give me one sec. And I want to be aware of time. Slow. Okay. So let's take, for example, there's a couple really great ones here, and I'll just pull them up just so we can watch them together. Oh, actually, I just want to make sure that you can hear the audio. So let me make sure you can do that too. Computer audio, perfect. Let's look at this 5.8 million view Instagram.
So what is it? Oh, it's the Simpsons house. Let's see how good it skates. Check this out.
Right. It's probably not a good example because we're going to watch him skate for a while, but at the very end, he says, "Hey, I'm a real estate agent. Let me list with you." Oh, actually, no. Let's look at this other one. This is a good one.
Hey, can your realtor do that? No, my house would.
Ungodly easy, and that got 1.8 million views.
Oh my gosh.
You're just doing something simple. All right. There's another one I wanted to show you that I think would be really, really cool, or that's a really cool idea. Welcome to my series about X, where I talk to you about my 5 favorite features. This is probably a really good one, a good example.
Welcome back to our series where we show you around luxury properties in Los Angeles and talk about our 5 favorite features.
And today we are in Hollywood Hills at the Hollywood Observatory.
So what's number 1, Irina?
Well, no.
That's it. That was the hook. Welcome, our 5 favorite features of such and such. Or what did they say? Welcome back to our series where we show you luxury properties in Los Angeles, and we're going to talk about our 5 favorite features. In this particular case, your hook could be, welcome back to my series about Cleveland, Ohio, and I want to show you, or this is our episode 5 of our 5 favorite features of new listings. You're just literally copying that. That's it. Does that kind of give you some credence to a direction to go, Nina? Oh, you're muted, by the way?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, no, that's really helpful. And where did you get that list? Was that something that you had just kept on your?
Oh, this is for one of the clients that I work with. Like we actually just
okay.
search for them. So we're just like, hey, here are 30 videos. This is what you copy the hook and you come up with your own input. This is what the visual hook looks like when they're starting the video. So just copy the video, execute, and that's it. That was the playbook. So that's us kind of doing the service for them.
Okay.
But having said that, let's look at Foxterra design. So let's sort this by views. And it looks like the majority of these, okay, this is a talking head one. Let's see what this one is.
Probably too small for any luxury features. Well, that's what this client said. Look at the before of this yard.
Okay, so that's essentially what if we're going to use this as the example, that was the hook. So let's just copy this, paste this into Snap Insta, download it. And then we'll go into Descript, which is the next application. And let's just upload that video. Come on. Come on. There we go. And it might take a few seconds, but essentially it'll give us our transcript. And we can see that this is, if we're going to copy the visual hook, my head with my phone, and I'm kind of just facing a thing. And I'm literally just going to copy the words, my yard is probably too small for any luxury features. And then you just go on your rant. It can't be easier than that. All right. Is this making sense, guys? I know we're kind of jumping bits and pieces between applications, but essentially this is the playbook. Oh, here it is. Here's the script. My yard is probably too small for any luxury features. And then you kind of just go on your own tangent, your own rant.
I love that. And right after that, I think he said, this is it before, which already has me going, well, I have to stay to see what happens after. So now I'm understanding like this whole holding their attention by using the right words in the beginning, which, I'm still trying to figure out how to use, the buttons and all the things. But what's nice about this is I think it takes that. Sometimes I'm feeling creative and sometimes I'm really not. And I just need to bang some shit out. This makes it way
Yeah.
easier to take that, waiting for the creativity to descend on me, out of the equation to be able to make content.
Mm-hmm. Gene, you said you keep them using the term. You keep using the term talking head. What does that mean? Does that mean that with me talking in the video off the side? No, it's literally just you're in the video talking. Like in the video, like this is essentially considered a talking head. Um, this is essentially considered, well, this is a full body. Like talking head is literally the torso up of you just talking to your phone. Does that answer your question? All right. And also, if you can see here, another great idea for just looking at this particular video is we're just copying the shots. Like if it's a shot of this person walking up the stairs, just copy the shot of you walking up the stairs. Can't be easier than that. All right. Let me land the plane real quick, and then I want to open it up for questions because the last piece, in my opinion, is probably the most important piece that I need to share with you guys, which is this last slide. Whoops, not this slide. This last slide. Not this last slide. Hang on. Technical difficulties. Let me do this. I'll just pull it up here. All right. Everyone gets so enamored by screenshots like this, where you see a before and after. This person, Susanna, 51,000 views to 850,000 views. Ava, 512 followers, excuse me, not views, followers. 512 to 201,000 followers. JC, the coach, 208 followers to 39,000 followers. Just out of curiosity, are all of your eyes being attracted to that number, to that middle number, the follower number? Just out of curiosity, wave your hand in the camera. Let me know, like, that's where your eye is going. Yeah. Yeah, for sure, Stacey. Okay. From now on, I do not want you to pay attention to the follower count. What I actually want you to start paying attention to is the post count. Look at Susanna, 809 posts, and it took 1,000. She essentially had to post 1,143 times to get the result. If we look at JC, 22 posts to 140 posts. If we look at Jimmy, 34 posts to 121 posts. This is me telling you now that the amount of volume that you are currently doing and that is currently required for you to get to the goal is not enough. You need to be posting more, and you need to increase your expectation of the amount of work required to have you actually go viral. It's not going to happen with one post a week. It's not going to happen with you doing essentially one post every other day. You have to commit to yourself that I need to be posting at least 100 times to figure out how to get this to work in order to get the growth that I'm looking for. This is not some magic pill. This is actually going to take some real work, some real commitment of your time in order to get to the results that you are looking for, to grow a big audience, to be able to have a bunch of goodwill deposited into the followers that follow you. And then you can just do a withdrawal whenever you want a new client by simply saying, hey, are you interested in maybe listing your home? Comment, list, and I'll be happy to help you out. All right. That's my last piece that I wanted to share with you guys because I can't stress the importance of this. Volume is going to get you to the result. 1 post, 5 posts, 10 posts, don't expect to see anything. You need to be doing over 100. Okay. That's my last thought. That's my last question. Or my last thought, my last point. I'm opening it up now for questions. So what do you guys got for me before we wrap up?
Well, I just want to say thank you, and then I'm going to shut up. But 100 must be your favorite number.
Oh yeah.
Because I remember doing we were talking about blog posts, and you said, Stacey, this is a breakneck race to get to 100 as quickly as possible. So I've heard 100 out of your mouth more than once, and that makes a lot of sense, right? It's almost like the 10,000 hours.
Yep, that's exactly it. Like 100 is a roundabout number. Some of you might get to the result in 100. Some of you might get to the result in 200 or 300, but it's more about the repetition and the journey that you learn through the repetitions. That's kind of my big idea or big point here. But yes, Stacey. All right, Nina, you have your hand up. What's up?
Hi. So when you say posts, are you talking about just reels or a combination of reels, stories, like all that stuff?
Well, if you can incorporate stories, Stories are fantastic, but for the sake of getting the virality that we're actually truly looking for, and why is this still not showing up? There we go. Uh, at the end of the day, it's posts. So you can do, if you can do 100 reels or 100, a combination of 100 reels, carousels, and photos, the goal is you need the volume to get the numbers that you're looking for.
Okay, so just, all of them, okay.
Oh, and I should also add, don't just post to post. I'm not telling you to do that. I had one person, I had an agent out in Atlanta, and what she did was she got one of these fancy CRMs that says like, oh, I'll automatically do all of your social media posts for you. And what she did was she posted new homes that hit the market, and she would be posting 3 times a day. It completely killed her following. She had zero engagement. Like, no, you actually have to be intentional about what you're posting. So follow the framework. You'll get a lot more views. Don't just post to post.
Wait,
My little.
can we go there? All
Okay,
of us
please.
have a CRM that will do that for us. Are
Yeah.
you saying probably not a good idea? I've been coaching against having auto posting on Facebook forever.
Oh,
So
100%.
same thing here. Like just because it has that feature doesn't mean you're not shooting yourself in the foot by using it.
I can't stress this enough. There is no easy button. All right. But yeah, you're spot on, Stacey. Like, there's no easy button. Do the work. That's the bottom line. How do real estate agents get really, really good? They have to do the work. If your goal is to make 7 figures by cold calling, then hey, guess what? You have to commit to cold calling every single day. In this particular case, if the goal is to make X amount of money through social media, you have to commit to figuring out how to do this to make it work for you every single day. All righty. We got 2 minutes. One more question. Anybody? If not, I would love like 1 or 2 or 3 big takeaways before we wrap up today. All right, no questions. Guys, can you please unmute? Give me like 1 or 2 big like aha moments. I would love to understand what was relevant to you, what was useful to you, what was not.
Could you go back and show where you were looking at your chart? I think I missed that part. It was one of the very first slides. You were doing it in like this guy. The 3 circles. Yes,
Yeah.
that one.
Okay. Yeah. Did you have any particular questions about that one, Megan?
On Instagram, when you're going back and looking at the reels that you've previously posted, are you able to find your analytics on that?
So typically what you're just looking for is the watch time. Depending on how
Okay.
viral you went, you might be able to pull up a graph, but for the most part, if you're not getting too many views, it'll just give you the watch time metric. There's
Okay.
really great applications that you can give you the details, but we're not trying to pay for anything. So if you get a viral video, you'll be able to see the graph. If not, then base it off of watch time.
Okay, thanks.
On her question, just to piggyback on that, when I'm looking at that, what it does give you is the ability to see watch time on non-followers versus followers too, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Because reels are, being shown to people who do not follow you. That's why they're really important for you to lean on if you're looking to expand your audience. And I never, God, for all the bomb coaching that I do, I never paid any attention to watch time at all.
Yeah, it's the secret sauce. The watch time. At the end of the day, these algorithms, these platforms, or actually algorithms, but these platforms care about one thing: keeping you on the application. That's how they make their money. So that's why they are always optimizing for watch time, for retention. If you're not interesting, they're gonna find someone else that is interesting because they have shareholders to pay. So let me find someone that's creating really great content that will keep them on my app so I can make a lot of money.
Yeah, and what you shared is awesome because it doesn't matter how the trends change. It doesn't matter how the algorithm changes. At any given point in time, we can see what's working without having to sit in another, 2-hour Zoom with some expert that charged us $500.
Yeah.
You kind of just taught us the hack to always be on the cutting edge of what works. And I can't tell you how important that is for real estate agents. Like, we don't have time to sit on Zoom after Zoom after Zoom to try and figure, like I said, we're all still working on trending hashtags, Megan. And, I love this because this way, no matter what, we have a way of going in and telling what's working at any given moment. Like, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. I would also say this: I just saved you guys at least 2 to 6 grand, because if you go to any guru, they're going to give you the exact same framework. So
No, I know, and you're ridiculously awesome. So can we just
yeah.
take a minute to say thank you to Emmanuel, number one? Emmanuel, let people know what you do to feed your family, please.
Oh, yeah. So, guys, if you need help with either web designs or systems, that's kind of my bag, my cup of tea. Happy to work on creating funnels or revamping your website. Or if you need someone to kind of just do some of the grunt work for what I just showed you today, more than happy to do that for you. Actually, let me drop my Calendly. If you guys are interested in chatting more than happy to do a quick 15 with you. Storm.
Okay,
And
did I miss the whole presentation?
You did, but it's recorded, girlfriend, so you are safe.
I thought it was at 1 my time and it was at 1 your time.
It was. It's okay. It's okay.
Damn.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's recorded. It was
Yep.
awesome. You're going to have all the takeaways. And I think, the different things that I've had you teach over the years, every one of them has been so actionable. And I just want to say thank you for not gatekeeping and just making this a sales pitch. I think that's really
Oh.
rare in our industry, and I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. For you, Stacey, anything else? Let me end with this because I got to run to another Zoom, but you guys are in a very, very good space. Stacey is a superstar. She knows exactly what you're doing. She is part of a group of people that are not going to fool you, are not going to bamboozle you. She is authentic. She is genuine. She keeps it real. I'm very thankful that you are in my network. And guys, just take advantage of Stacey because she is very good people. All right. Okay.
Thank you, my friend.
Bye, everybody.
If you guys want to hang out, if we have questions, I'm glad to answer them after Emmanuel leaves. If you want to brainstorm some of this and stay on, I don't have another appointment. I don't know about you all. Mind is blown. This takes all the guesswork out of everything. I will just be transparent with you. I am sick and fucking tired of wasting so much time trying to figure out, do we do a second reel, 7-second reel? Like Jean said, she's like, oh, are you okay? So are you telling me? I totally get where you were coming from on this too. And I wanted to say something, but I was already talking too much as usual. You were like, so do we do a 7? Do we do the 90? You know what I mean? Like, we're looking for this practical framework. This is the first time I've ever heard anyone share just a down and dirty workflow for how to do something. Does that make sense?
Step by step with all the tools and everything to help you to find the information. Like that's amazing.
Oh, and that are free 99. None of it costs you anything. Like, I love him. I've worked with him on web design, SEO, blogging, all kinds of stuff. And the one thing that I will tell you is he's one of the few people that's respectful of the budget we work on. He's a licensed realtor. Like, he knows, he understands. And to me, it's just so refreshing to have someone go, look, here it is. If you want help implementing it, I'm here, but here it all is, and no gatekeeping. So I thought that was great today. Does anyone, Stacey Turnage probably has all the questions, but I swear to God, when you watch the recording, you'll get it. Go in your profile on Rebel Agent Community, make sure your time zone is set to the right time zone. That could be the problem. It might not be you.
I'm so pissed.
But I'm sending her all of my notes, Stacey. I took
I
stupid
appreciate
notes,
it.
so I'm sending them to
Oh, that's
you.
great. See, what a great community of humans we have here. Okay. Ahas. I want to go around the horn because his time was limited. But Nina, aha for you, something that you're going to put into action right away.
Well, there's so many, but I mean, I'm just blown away by the whole hashtag not a thing anymore.
We all have hashtag PTSD, and now we know who to blame. It's Megan's fault. I'm just kidding, Megan. You know that. All right.
Are we
All right.
not supposed to use hashtags? I totally missed that too, and I'm so sorry.
No, you can drop the hashtag bullshit. Algorithm's smart now. Don't need to do it. It looks at your caption. It's listening to your video. We don't need to do that
make sure
anymore.
your caption has the stuff in it too. But
yeah.
But then he also said instead of doing that, you want to tell people to bookmark, share, or follow. Like
Yeah.
you want them to do a call to action like that.
which is way easier. That makes more sense to me than trying to figure out what the trending hashtags are, although ChatGPT has been doing that for me. But then again, I'm in the background going, does that really work? If I'm honest, does that really work? Like, that's what they told me to do. So I guess I'll do it. And I'm reeling from that also, the no hashtag thing. Chris, what about you? Biggest takeaway you're going to put in action?
I mean, I'll definitely go through the whole workflow and make some videos. I think the hang up for me is going to be choosing what to search on Instagram to find the first content. So, you know, if we can brainstorm through like some different keywords maybe that would be helpful for our industry and for what we're looking to do, and have just like a list of things we can like search.
Yeah.
That'd be helpful for me.
So here's what I heard him say, and I want you guys to chime in after this, on this. What I heard him say is he used that decluttering checklist, right? And we all get this stuff from Keeping Current Matters, or we download it from, you know, Canva somewhere or whatever. We have these different little checklists and things. So I think it's topical. We have to figure out what it is we're trying to get people to engage with. Go back to what was just said. What would be something that they would bookmark, something that they would share, right? Or ideally follow, but something that they would bookmark or share. So in thinking about that, if it's like tips for doing this, or a list of restaurants that are serving Easter brunch, that's a big deal here. You better make your Easter brunch reservations early, right? Like, put it out now, like, here's the best Easter brunch. But going in and then searching for, you know, other videos, right? Like popular brunch places and then find the accounts that are creating content that's getting watched, is kind of what I heard him say. Is that what everybody else heard too? Okay, Pat's
Yeah,
go.
I'm trying to think like more like, yeah, because I could go find my, like, I know who my local food bloggers are. I know what I already follow them. I know what they're posting like for local stuff.
But
like,
are you putting a lid on yourself by only searching your local food bloggers? Like, maybe there's a food blogger in Cleveland that's kicking and they're doing way better because they're using a different format for their reel. I don't know.
yeah, that's right. That's true.
I don't know. Let's talk about real estate specific stuff. Okay, like pre-approval. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, like like I did like that decluttering one, found a couple of viral ones that I could totally like do that.
Okay.
Like show a hoarder house video that I shot at a showing or whatever, like, and have some good content there.
Okay. All right. I like that. I
So
like
like, yeah, my wheels are turning there, and doing like a, you know, searching like neighborhoods and, you know, highlighting neighborhoods, like maybe doing some stuff with that. I'm just trying to
like
think through
neighborhood
content.
tour. Like, so
Yeah,
would you
like the
like,
content I've already been doing over the past month, and just trying to find somebody that's already doing it in a different market that's gone viral.
okay. I like that. I like that. Anyone else have any ideas? I like Chris's idea of brainstorming this for a hot minute. Pat, I know you were like on your phone while we were on the call too, and you were, you know,
Sorry.
kind of looking at some things. No, not sorry. I was doing the same thing where I was like searching things and kind of checking out Instagram and looking in different places as he was talking along. As you're thinking about this, what maybe would you search for?
Well, I mean, just to be perfectly vulnerable with everybody, is I just need to get back into doing something
Gotcha.
and trying to find the right content. That's what caught my eye, is just something that I can get on the bandwagon and just do it.
Yeah, 100%. I think spring cleaning tips. We definitely have this thing, you know, maybe decorating for the holiday if you're hosting, you know, Easter's going to come up in a little bit, just trying to get ahead of it too, you know, so we're not always behind the eight ball trying to make something an hour before film school where we're going to get hollered at for not making a video. I'm just trying to think of different things that are a little bit seasonal, a little bit local. Taco trails are always a big thing by us. like, maybe spring gardening, getting your stuff ready. Everybody's getting itchy. We all had a warm spell. So everybody's getting itchy to get out in the yard. The snow melted and now we see how crappy it looks out there. So maybe those checklists again would come in handy there, like bookmark for later. Here's the top 10 garden centers or something like that. What else can we think of real estate wise, like around the house? Top 10 things to do before you think about listing. Interview
and cons
questions
of
to ask a
maybe-
realtor. Go ahead, Pat, sorry.
Pros and cons of having your home inspected before you list it.
Ooh, there's a hot topic. That's a super hot topic. That would also be good on stories to go yay or nay. Specifically looking at Stacey on that one, the yay or nay, that would create some engagement for recruiting. Okay. What else?
I feel so uneducated right now.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm going to teach you all about time zones and your life's going to be changed forever.
God, forever.
I love you. She's my fellow E. We're the EYs. I love
And I'm
her.
here
She's
to
doing
learn it.
so many things all at once. She's running a production business. She has a brand new boutique brokerage in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So she's burning the candle at both ends. But this is, again, we're all going to get busy. So I love having a framework to go ahead and research some of this stuff. And I think we just need to, instead of doom scrolling at night, make kind of researching some of these keywords part of our doom scrolling, like doom scrolling with a purpose,
So no hashtags. I use hashtags not necessarily for the algorithm, but I thought this was a thing that you go out there and you search the hashtag like realtor and you pull up all the people that have that hashtag. So we don't have to do that no more?
Nope.
Yes.
Yeah. Right?
Say less.
Okay. I'm going to move on. Paul, aha, that you're going to put into place like right away.
I started doing the search, like you were talking about, trying to figure out new ideas, or well, I guess any idea would be a new idea since I'm not doing anything. So it sets that bar pretty low, but I'm excited to do that. But also, like I said, all of the different tools that he mentioned in there to help make sense of it all. Because I look at it for a minute and like, yeah, I'm just not really interested anymore. So something else can take that off my plate and tell me what I need to be focusing on, then that's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, it makes it super easy. Jean, what about you?
All of it.
Mind blowing, right?
Yeah, it's like me, I have to go back and rewatch it a few times in order to know how to implement it, because it was so much in here that I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm just going to concentrate on the replay and just listen.
Well, then you can pause and do the thing.
Yeah, because it was kind of difficult to kind
do
of
the thing.
Yeah, trying to watch him and then listen to him, and then finally I was just like, forget it, I'll just come back for the replay and I can slow
So
it down
let
my
me
pace.
throw this out there. We can expand this on Ask Me Anything tomorrow too, and you can bet, because this is the blessing and curse of an ADHD brain. I'm going down this goddamn rabbit hole all afternoon. So I will have done a couple of things and maybe have some ideas for you on tomorrow's Ask Me Anything. Terry, I knew
Awesome.
you came in at the end. Was there something that was a takeaway for you?
My takeaway is, my takeaway is probably that I didn't realize how confused I was on everything.
People overcomplicate it, I think.
I use Instagram a lot on a regular basis, but I don't have these kind of results. But I also was going, what? And I just kind of had to write it off as, but you know what? I wasn't here at the beginning. I really kind of jumped in and I wanted to come in incognito, and you can't do that in this. So,
well, never in any of my classes. Sorry.
No,
that's not how this works.
I know. And it's Liam Day, so I apologize, but
No,
yeah, my
he's
little
so
cutie
cute.
patootie.
He's so cute. Stace, I know you were in at the end, so I'm going to skip over to Patricia. Patricia, something that I know you want to get going, you know, and you said you want to just, you need to get back into it. You need to be doing something. What's the one something that you're going to put into practice like right away? Give yourself a little momentum. Give yourself a win.
Just start doing reels.
Okay.
I mean, my video, everything is kind of just shut down, and it's a mindset, and I'm trying to get over it. So, you know, just seeing that there's simple things that you can do out there is going to make a difference, and just trying to be myself instead of copying other people. I am who I am, you know.
I do that too. I just be transparent watching Liz Brown, and I'm like, it almost makes it harder for me because I'm like, ooh, how could I do that? Or, you know, I don't have that, or I don't go those places, or I can't do this or that. And then I start to like overthink it, I guess is so that looking left and looking right almost makes it harder. I love this framework because it takes all that out of the mix, and we can just go through the steps one by one and then come up with something really good. Jean?
Yeah, I just wanted to say in all transparency and honesty, I think that for me, where the confusion has come at is similar to us as realtors. Is so much information out there and a lot of it is contradicting that you're really not sure what you do. So you're kind of doing the little toe tap dance. You in and out sideways. And finally, if you're like me, you just like forget it. Because there's so much information that with these little 5 steps that he's given, and it kind of is just going to kind of make it a little bit easier rather than doing the 2-step dance on every time you turn around. Because I know that when I talk to a lot of my clients, they're in confliction with the information that's posted with Zillow, with Redfin, with us, with our videos, and they don't really know what to do. They're just kind of going back and forth. And that's how I kind of feel like it is with the social media thing, that I'm doing the 2-step dance myself in regards to that. And so I just wanted to put that out there that I'm just going to try his little 5 steps and see how far I get.
Well, and I think that was the point I was trying to make. Like, this takes my need for a freaking guru to charge me or tell me what the thing to do is. I don't want to hear. It's a difference between fact and opinion. Because using those tools that he's talking about, I can see exactly where the rubber meets the road. Does that make sense? Rather than it's just somebody telling you what worked for them or what worked for them 5 years ago, and then they've been milking it ever since they had their success, you know, and you know, it's just not relevant anymore. This framework, it helps us tune into exactly what's relevant at any given time with actual like proof in result. You know what I mean? I think that that's kind of where I'm going. This helps me breathe so much easier. Just my 2 cents on that. I don't know. I get overwhelmed too. This one told me to do 7-second. This one told me long form. This one told me this. This one told me that. And I get pissed because I'm like, if you just give me the recipe, I'm great at following recipes. What I suck at is when I do the thing you told me to do, and then 5 minutes later, someone else is like, oh God, don't do that. No wonder your shit's not working. You got to do this. And I'm like, okay, everybody just needs to stop talking. And I wanted someone to give us something that we could use. And when I originally reached out to him, I said, look, would you be willing to come brainstorm some AI? This is how this conversation started. And he goes, I can do better than that. So this is what he brought to the forefront, and I'm just so grateful he did today. It is absolutely going to change my approach to my social media, and I'm pretty damn stoked, I gotta say. Stacey, watch for the replay to come up, and you'll
Oh
be able
no,
to.
I'm gonna watch for the replay, but I do have a tidbit for what you were saying. The challenge is in all of these different recipes is those recipes on the internet don't expire. And unfortunately, those videos don't have dates when they were created. So you get out there and this person says 7 seconds, and this person says 32 seconds, and this person says no seconds, right? So those things could have been out there for years, right? So I didn't hear his spiel, but I just appreciate it sounded like he was in the right now today.
Yeah, and the tools he's giving you, it's going to be right now tomorrow, and the right now next week, and the right now 3 months from now, because this is
Exactly.
part of my exhaustion is the algorithm is changing. Like Literally, it's different now than when we started at noon today.
Yeah.
Literally. And so it's so cool to be able to, you know, go through this. And I love his commitment to just it's a race to 100. It's a race to 100. Just do 100. And then we have something to actually go off of. I don't have to listen to this guru or that guru. I can go ahead and just do it. The last thing I'm going to leave you with is, and Chris and I, we had a lot of fun this morning. I had a lot of fun this morning. Chris was a good sport. But, you know, we're tracking our engagement and we're tracking the number of accounts we're reaching, because no one sent me a thing saying, will you please come list my house? I haven't had someone I don't know come up and say, would you please be my real estate coach from what I'm posting? That hasn't happened yet. Ultimately, that's where I'm headed, right? So, but tracking these lead indicators, like the amount of posting that I'm doing, am I growing in followers? Am I growing in engagement? Now, of course, I'm going to be addicted to watching the watch time on this stuff. As he was talking, I was going through all my stuff, looking at my watch time. But, you know, really having a tracker set up for yourself, whatever you're going to be tracking. And I'm thinking maybe in the community for the month of March, we just need to have a reel a day challenge. I don't know. Wouldn't that be fun? Like, that might be fun. We'd have to find a way to make that interesting. God bless you. We'd have to
Bless you.
find a way to make that interesting. But I'm just thinking, like, what would get us, you know, focused and executing, you know what I mean? And doing it together and watching each other's stuff. So we're learning from each other. You know, that might be really helpful. So give that some thought. You can give me some feedback. I'll be back tomorrow. Commit or quit, 10:30 in the morning Eastern time. And then, of course, ask me anything and build it with me are tomorrow afternoon at 1 and 2 o'clock Eastern, respectively. And I'm so excited to see you guys then. All right. Have an awesome afternoon. Chewy stuff. Go make beautiful content. And I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
See you, Liam.
Thanks.